7 major organs removed. Essentially, I have mast cell activation syndrome. I had a congenital disease. I had psychiatric issues or trauma from being so sick. And I get on here and I share because, well, I saved my own life. So other people don't have to feel as sick as they do. And I usually get on and I talk on different topics, and I'm going to be making a juice while I do this. Let me just get the things out for the juice. And don't worry, these aren't washed in here. It's just I store them in here during the day because they take up bench space. And I keep my benches clear. So we are going to make a juice. And I'll put this together. As we talk about my massive mast cell activation syndrome flare-up I had last night, which I'm sure if you follow me, you guys will not be surprised because I had a lot of high histamine foods. I tend to do this, but I think I figured out why I keep going back. And it has to do with how I helped my mast cell activation flare up last night. So the first thing that happens with mast cell activation syndrome is the body has mast cells. Hello! So mast cells go into areas of the body of inflammation. So we need them, okay? You bruise yourself, you exercise, you bump your elbow, you get a cold. Mast cells in the immune system go to the area and start to send off things like antigens, IgE, proteins, histamines, cytokines to heal the area. Now, what happens with mast cell activation is these become dysregulated and an excess release of histamine starts occurring. Now, this can occur for many reasons. Leaky gut is a major reason, but usually they occur at entry points on the body. So we have the skin, we have the chest, the mouth, the tongue, anaphylaxis, the respiratory system, the stomach, the urinary and renal tract. Any entry point is usually where histamines tend to be higher and people get reactions. So you probably know of people getting seasonal allergies. That's histamines, and they get runny nose, watery eyes. I get a lot of nerve pain. So it can be in nerves, it can be in organs, but I've had this most of my life. Now, what tends to happen is when I have higher histamine foods, now when I was eating a standard diet, that is just full of histamines, especially things sitting on a shelf. These histidines break down into histamines in the body and increase this histamine inflammatory response. You get swollen stomach, my stomach's doing good. You can get watery eyes. There's so many symptoms, nausea, POTS, chronic fatigue. And I went on a raw food diet and this stopped, completely stopped. Within 4 weeks, 6 weeks, but there's photos of me at 4 weeks and I'm just up and I'm well. And this is because there's lower histamines in fresh food, except that some of the fruits and vegetables have histamines or histamine liberators. So I have to be careful. Now, when you talk about doing a raw, low histamine diet, you're getting very restricted, right? And I thought that was why I'm doing, and if you look in the description, you will see there's a mast cell activation folder you guys have complete access to. It has what I eat, it has what it is, it has help. You can join my group, it's free. But I tend to share where I'm at and what I'm doing. And I've been doing these lower histamine foods with a high omega-3 diet, okay? Omega-3 in the body versus omega-6. We like to keep these in balance because these fats build our brain and our cells, okay? Now, when you use omega-6, that's still inflammatory pathway in the body. And when cells in the body are built from omega-6, they become more rigid and stiff, okay? Kind of like the diseases humans get. You have omega-3s and lower omega-6 and you force the body to not continually build cells of the membrane and the myelin sheath from the omega-6 fatty acids and instead the omega-3 fatty acids. What that does is create a like fluidy, jelly, like movie, very flexible membrane on a cell where the communication going across the cell membrane becomes very sharp, clear. And then these gates, these protein gates on these cells open and close correctly. The channels work better. Everything works better with omega-3s, right? But omega-3 in nature is found in chia and flax. So I'd predominantly been using those and all my symptoms had gone. I had a bout of shingles on a raw food diet and everything kind of flared up. So this low histamine, high omega-3 diet was doing brilliant, okay? And I don't like oil, so I stayed away from the flax oil, but I think I've discovered the flax oil might be the key for me. So I do chia and flax with lots of cruciferous vegetables, which have like sulforaphane, and they also have a high lot of nutrient density, which you need when you're repairing the body. So when I eat only chia and flax, I think because I have no stomach, my stomach's been removed, and my duodenum and top of intestines, I have problems with absorption, okay? So you can eat, seeds are going to be harder to absorb, especially break down, and I use things like enzymes and probiotics for help. What I notice is I tend to, I think, need either more calories that are easily absorbed. So I go back to higher histamine foods. On the weekend, I made my high protein salad. You can go back, watch it. All healthy, but low in omega-3s and high in histamines. Then last night, I had a massive mast cell activation flare up. My nerves, especially in my feet, I got rashes coming out in my ankles, and I couldn't stabilize it because every time I have tried to take an antihistamine, which only blocks the signal of the histamine, it doesn't, on the receptor side, it doesn't fix anything. So I don't take them. I just always get this urge to have a lot of flax oil, okay? And I do that, and all of a sudden the communication coming in the body stops being painful and starts coming into my brain like, oh, that's the sheet, or that's your pajamas. And so I do this, and I'm learning, and I'm in this cycle where I think now, even though I don't love having oil, flaxseed cold pressed oil, I drizzle it over the veggies and the seeds, and I think calorie density, it's better for me, and also I stabilize. And there's so many here. I'm 44. So let me just, thanks, Creative Heart. So I think what caused it is a couple of things. So when the signals go wrong in my brain, I think I'm also not getting enough omega-3s because I'm not making good choices, and they become addictive and dysregulated. And when I have these like bomb of omega-3s from the oil, is everything comes into focus, and all the signals coming in my body become pleasant. And I don't think everyone has to have omega-3s. I think if you can get enough nuts and seeds, the seeds from chia and flax, you're fine. I am learning I cannot get enough, okay? I'm just learning I either go back to foods because my brain just starts feeling pain. And when it feels pain, it seeks pleasure. So the signals start coming in painful, and instead of feeling the pain, I start to seek. And you can call it ADHD or addictive behavior, but I'm learning about myself and these behaviors that I did in my past because the pain got extreme. So I've been on and had organs removed and massive painkillers and surgeries to relieve pain and readjustment surgeries because my hip used to roll in on itself from pain. And I'm learning that this seeking or addictive tendencies are occurring because I'm in pain. And it stops for me with flaxseed oil in the brain, on the skin, everything calms down. And yes, I am tired today. So nutrients don't have I don't know. Thank you. I'm trying to. There is one remedy to fix all conditions. I think that the raw food and healthy food is the place to start. And I started there, and I've been directed here, as in directed to omega-3s. You don't have to get it right straight away, but you can move towards what's going to work for you. And I feel I'm getting there, learning. I woke up this morning feeling the best I have in ages. Also, the trick with the flax oil is I usually, when I have a flare up, I start having mouthfuls of it. That ain't working for me. Last night, at night, in the middle of the night, was mashing up cauliflower, salt, and flaxseed oil, and I'd have water a bit afterwards because I have sodium, and that stabilized it as a whole. whenever I do, and salt starts to irritate me if I don't have enough omega-3s, everything. It's like if you have mast cell activation, if you know, you know, you're allergic to everything. You can walk outside and a smell hits you. Then a person walks past that you've seen many times, their shampoo sets you off, your eyes start watering. The wind blows across your face, your nose is running. Your gut is swollen. And my stomach is doing good actually, still nice and flat, which is a good sign. But I'm really learning that I am going to have to keep high omega-3s in my body to keep almost like the messages that come in from outside not painful. And I did have complex regional pain syndrome as well. So what did you do for POTS, food and other things that helped? Good question, because my POTS went and my tachycardia. So when I first went raw, my tachycardia was so bad that if I got up and tried to walk, even to the end of the street, my heart rate would be up at 188. And we're talking about I could barely move. So if I could get to the end of the street, I wasn't doing much. Within like the 4 to 6 weeks, I'm walking a couple of kilometers a day. Let's say it's 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks is when I'm starting to walk more. And my heart rate would get to like 120. Okay, so that's like the tachycardia side, but my POTS goes straight into the tachycardia side. So as soon as that blood pressure drops, my heart starts to race to try and push blood up into my head and the top part of my body. That all stopped very quickly with raw foods, but when I got too much into fruit and not enough sodium, I don't know whether I had a blood sugar imbalance. See, my hormones, they're having no uterus, you know, having full hysterectomy, having a hormone imbalance causes blood sugar problems. Blood sugar problems and POTS to me are like best friends. But also, when I was having all that fruit, I had no sodium. So I feel like there's something about, well, the body runs highly off these gates in the cells actually open with sodium, potassium channels, okay? And also the brain and nerves need salt. So I don't know, I woke up this morning, I only had 4 hours sleep, and I usually wake up after an episode a mess. Like and I was thinking, I'm like, am I going to get through today? Do I have to cancel? And I'm like, okay, I'm up. And it wasn't just this. I had this with mashed cauliflower. I think it's too much on my gut to just put in. And I don't know, the salt helped and some water, and I feel so much better. So that's the pot story. I believe for me, I need to keep in balance, but it seems high blood sugar for me sets off where I'd walk down the beach when I was doing all that fruit, but also having high fruit meant low sodium. So I think you've got to make sure you're having enough sodium. I find POTS and chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia are all those first kind of dysregulated signals that start coming in when where's the top? Did I put it in here maybe? Start noticing that my body is not right. But I think for me, instead of noticing my body's not right, I seek dopamine. So my body knows it's about to have a full-blown pain attack. And instead of sending me this message, Sky, you haven't had flax oil or enough flax seed, or you've had too much histamines, it doesn't send me that message. It says seek, as in like, you probably need to have more caffeine, or you probably need to have I had some cacao on the weekend. They're all things that I hadn't done, and I start doing it so that I can block pain signals instead of actually doing what I needed to do. And this is why there's a value in learning what your body does. This is my juicer. I'm not moving it today because the electrical point it's over there. But I believe everyone to some degree suffers with histamine and mast cell activation, because if you get flushed when you run, that's histamines. And you find people who get different things like eczema, or they are in the cold and they get problems, or this is all histamines. Because it's an inflammatory response, and it's also the immune system, which is trying to protect the body but becomes dysregulated. So basically, guys, I will be changing up my mast cell activation folder to state that I will be now doing oil most of the day at this point, until I probably forget and don't do it, and then I end up dopamine seeking instead of actually looking after myself. So I believe this can help with addiction as well. I don't believe addiction is as simple as someone's traumatized. I believe, they could be, but it's still pain. And the pain signals in the body are just so much better when you're chockers full of omega-3s. Yeah. Okay. I never heard of POTS till 5 years ago, and now I hear so many people have it. Doctors have no clue what it is or how to get rid of it. To me, it came when it was like, to me, it comes with that blood pressure thing. The first time I noticed POTS is when I've been in hospitals for something like my PTSD and stuff. And I had it probably when I was really sick, but I was always laying down, and I would get up and your whole vision would start to disappear. You know when you get up too fast and you think you're gonna black out? Like every time I would get up, my heart would ba-dum, 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 like it literally come out of my chest, and my vision would slowly just go until you hang onto a wall and you either lay down on the floor or you stay there, and eventually my body rebalances. But a lot of people say salt helps them, but I don't think it actually fixes the POTS. But I do believe this all feeds into like gut health, hormone disbalance, like generalized inflammation, and your body's just trying to cope. Most people who have long-term chronic illness get some form of POTS because remember, they're laying down all day. So instead of being up as well most of the day, is these people are laying more. It's not only people who get POTS, but you find a lot of people who have had chronic illness, long haul COVID, all of that type of stuff. So you can always go for a facial. You're too hot, I'm leaving. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, to get your histamine and mast cell activation information from the nation. Oh, God, I need more juice. But yeah, I find anything for me with mast cells that keeps me in balance, as in like the more I start to have sweet things or caffeine from matcha. I can have one matcha, that's fine. But I notice that I start to sneak in some cacao, which is high histamine, and I need more liquid. It's just, I'm getting generally inflamed and I want to stop. Stop that. Stop right now. Thank you very much. We've got to stop that. We're going to do more omega-3s at this stage. So, yeah, I think it's all connected to the vagus nerve. So the POTS, the chronic fatigue, the fibromyalgia. What else do people have? I think it's called dystonatonia. Is that something where they don't have, because it gets into the middle ear and the midbrain, like the what is it called? The inner ear, that vestibular system. Is you get inflammation, right? So if you start having that the body is using a lot of energy to compensate, and the vagus nerve sits up around that middle ear, that vestibular middle ear system, which is balance. And once you lose balance, and then people's backs get out and you get that atlas, and people are like, oh, it's the chiropractor I've got to see, or it's the nerve doctor I've got to see, and it gets really confusing. So it's best to treat the whole. This is what we're doing. I'm not a doctor. This is all just lived experience. This is just what I'm learning day by day. I've been doing this for 4 years. So we get some cucumbers, some ginger, and yeah. Also last night I wasn't just having, reminder here in the fridge because there's some chia and flax. I wasn't just having the oil. I was having the seeds, the oil, the cauliflower, and some salt and some water, and it was really helping. So you ate corn, good for you. How about, the thing about POTS, people get dizzy and think it does get scary, and then your heart's already racing because it's trying to bring some more blood up to the brain. So the heart, that's why you get those racing heart and tachycardia, but then you panic. And it's horrible, and you get foggy. I always am foggy in the head as well. But yeah, I haven't had a good bout of it since I got off all the watermelon juice. But I don't think it was as much the sugar as it was I had imbalanced electrolytes. I had low sodium when I did too much fruit. So this really brings me back into balance. So I was also going to show you guys what I got yesterday shopping. Very exciting. So I'm getting a new camera. I told you guys about the camera, right? I'm getting a new vlogging camera. So I got that, but it's not being delivered because they didn't have it. But I got other stuff. I'll show you what I got. I got some cool stuff. Okay, let's start here. Da, 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 da. Okay. This is going over in my podcast area. So it'll go on the like footrest. So I can put my juice, because I always am bending over to the side, but if I put this on the footrest, so that's so cute, loving this. I'll keep that. That looks like I can use it. Okay. Oh, I got 2 of these mugs for my morning matcha. I don't even have mugs. I hardly go shopping. That's why I take Mum, because she makes me get things, so I never go shopping. I got 2 of these mugs. I've been living by myself for 4 years and I only have that funny matcha cup and a teacup. So I got a mug. Though I guess being a raw foodist, you don't really need it. I got, okay, this is off the back because I don't have any nice glasses. I literally just have these. So I don't have any, so I did a raw party where we had, like we bought drinks that were mocktails and I didn't have any fancy glasses. So, da 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 da, we got fancy glasses for juice. Oh, we can put some juice in it. So we got that. Okay, let's get some juice going, guys. Let's get the juice on. All right. There must be something in those omegas. I have only had like 4 hours sleep, and the first part of the night I was literally up in pain. And now I'm like, woo, I feel good. Okay. Lots of green juice. Green juice seems to help me. Hydration seems to help me. Okay, I should probably rinse this out. We don't want to like, I don't know what people put in here. Maybe a bit of detergent, right? Natural detergent. Anyone wondering? I do try my best. Okay. Fancy glass, fancy feels, I say. Okay. That sass-lats. Green juice is so good. Shy, good music player for you to watch on YouTube. Musical, I don't know what that means. Matcha is good, I know that, but the taste is foul. I love the taste of matcha. Love it. Fragrances style. What's up? Hey, fragrances style. I love the taste of matcha. I love it. I think when you're a raw foodist or you're eating a very simple diet, things like that are amazing. Okay, what we're going to do now is get some ice. Ice, baby. Okay. This is the life, right? So this is what I live for, is we've got to pretend, make believe of the good stuff. It shouldn't be wine and glass. Well, you pour it everywhere. Cheers, look how cool that is. I love this. I feel so much more energized having this than having like something that doesn't serve me. Where are we at here? Wipe this down so that we don't get all of this on my new stuff. Okay, so the other thing I got, because I said I had one glass, I think, but I don't know where that even came from. We got glasses to match the fancy glasses. So this is like my first glassware, guys. So they match. So that's pretty too. So that's just some homewares I got. Now, the other stuff I got was for work, like for vlogging and for my podcasts and stuff. So I've gone long enough. I've been on YouTube now 2 years and just used my phone. So I needed to get a camera because I need my phone when I'm on my camera, when I'm filming. So I got I don't know what actually, I think it's a Sony, but it's not delivered yet. It's a Sony camera, but it's not delivered. So it's a Sony Mark II, or I don't know. It will be delivered soon. So you have a question, go for it. So this is a gimbal for when I go to New York and I'm meeting my best friend there and we'll be filming, and I needed something to stabilize the camera as I vlog, because when I travel I vlog, but also this can sit in the kitchen when I do my recipes and track me. So as I move, not that I move that far, I can move the camera there, and as I move back and forth it will track me. So I love that. So I invested in that. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Okay, and then because I'll be on an aeroplane, I needed a bag. Like all this stuff, this is why it took me so long to get a camera. You don't just buy a camera, and I knew that. You need an SD card, you need a gimbal, I've got tripods, you need your SD card. So the SD card, I've got this, and the camera is coming. So the camera will come tomorrow. Those fancy mug and different things. I use one, I've got 2 mugs. What do you mean I got fancy mugs? I got 2 mugs. Hang on, I got one and the other is already been used. That's it. I've been in this house 4 years and I use some funny glass thing. Like, hello, what are you saying here? Trust me, I am like I never go shopping. I'd rather spend my money on raw foods, because raw foods actually gives me something. This is all dead stuff. This helps me share the news, but still every time I buy something, I'm so reluctant. But if I do buy something and choose to buy, I buy not the best, but good quality, because the drama that comes from crap is just not worth it. But you'll never see me often on here like I've done a shopping spree. Yesterday, Mum was trying to get me to finally buy a mirror and a desk to vlog on. Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. I'm like, no, I don't want it in here. I like simplicity. I'm like, I just would rather not. So, but then I woke up this morning and I'm thinking, I've got to finish this apartment. I've been here, this apartment 3 years, but I've been living at a home 4 years, had no glasses but this. So now we have mugs, we have wine glasses, and we have nice glasses. So, and plus I had a voucher because I had to buy a lounge. So I had a voucher. So it was only like, I don't know how much it was, but I had a voucher they gift you when you spend. And every second thing was half price. So it wasn't too expensive. But yeah. All those fancy mugs are different things. Hello. Thanks, Creative Heart. I felt really broke. Trust me, when I do anything, what I found is money becomes stressful. So like my business and everything I do, I will not overcapitalize. I will do it until it starts making me a return where I can pay for an upgrade. And then when that upgrade pays for an upgrade, I pay for an upgrade. I'm not someone who gets up and I'm like, I'm just going to spend all this money I don't have, because then I'm stressed. We don't want stress. We'll get histamine issues if we stress. So we stay calm. I find myself less stressed if my focus is just food, because that makes me who I am. So most of my money, so when people are like, you spend a lot on you spend a lot on food, yes, because that is who I am. Every cell in my body is that food. But when it comes to like tops from Cotton On for $15 and tracksuit pants I think these were like probably $19, but on sale for $14. I use a free curler. It's a heatless curler in my Amazon store for I think it's like $10. But when it comes to food, I am my health. I am the way I feel because of that. So this is why it took me so long. My mum's been trying to talk me into it, and Mum would be like, if you need money, I'll get you your glasses. I'm like, I don't want them in my space. I like opening the cupboard and it being just plates, 1 glass and 1 coffee mug. And I have a few of these because I have dressings and milk. But I'm like your simple girl. I hosted the mocktail party in like this tumbler, which I don't know. I think it was donated to me. I didn't buy it. Good food is expensive, but good health is even more. So it's so expensive to go to a doctor and a specialist. I'm better off investing every week on myself. I used to be a shopping addict too, Creative Heart. When I I was sick, but when I would get up to go to university, a lot of the time I couldn't get there. I would just stop at the shops. I just shop. Open my cupboard. I have 5 pairs of black pants. I have, when I was sick, I don't think I shopped that much, but every time I've been well, that 1 year I got well on a paleo diet, I'm like, I want this, and Uber here. Now I'm like, I got my veggies and I'll spend on that, but everything else now is like, I'm as good as like I can get from food. I'm 44. Yeah, it took me till I was 40 to get my priorities straight, but because that's what I do, like my bathroom, like what I do in the morning or what I do at night. I like try to stress that I'm always in the kitchen, or I love the kitchen because that's what makes me look the way I do, or how sick I am, or how well I am, or how well I can talk or concentrate. It all happens in here. Oh, besides also being out in nature and some exercise helps. Oh, you have 30 pairs of designer jeans. Do you know, actually, when I was younger, it was like that. Every time something new came out, I needed it. And then I think I stopped because I was so sick. And then when I got well, a lot of what I had was just donated, but I was eating raw foods and I noticed everything seemed to look good on me. I was like, I'm out here thinking I need this and need that to look good. But really, when I started just eating fresh food, I was like, all these donated clothes look pretty good. Like they're looking better than some of the other stuff I used to have. So there's so much value in looking after yourself. Like the way I am at my job, the way my mast cell activation is, the way I am happy. So my secret is I was in bed for what most of my life. I've had over 7 major organs removed. I've had over 60 surgeries. I was like not looking good, hey. It's the food. If you guys want to know the secret, it's literally the raw foods. It's having all fresh, raw, unprocessed food that's hydrating, that literally makes raw vegans look young. As long as you eat enough and get enough nutrients, it's like the high vibe diet. I'm just eating vibrational sun energy. Let me see if I can find a photo of me hang on, this is a photo of me at 36. That's me at 36. And then this is me at 44. So if I can do it, you guys can do it. Like I was not well. And there's other photos before I started this diet as well. So, oh, wait, yeah. That's when I started. My hair mostly had fallen out, eyes are yellow, my liver was failing. I was sick. And then now it's the raw foods. It literally changes everything you ever thought you knew. I'm from Australia. It's not that long ago. Yes, it's expensive to be sick. Like when I was on disability payments and I had no family support, I had to pay rent and every other cent went to raw foods and it made me better. I knew it was going to make me better because I felt better eating it. And then that allowed me to work, allows me to give back to my community, allows me to stop being operated on, allows me to stop paying for doctors, stop paying for private health insurance, stop paying for getting headaches and needing a medication, having chronic muscle activation, needing medication. It's just the food. So like when people, like I know how much friends spend on a night out on a Saturday night. It's more than my vegetable list, right? My vegetables each week. Okay, yet they're also not making their lunch, most of them. They're buying, they're also getting a couple coffees a day. The amount that people spend is crazy. I don't spend any of that. I didn't even use shampoo besides rosemary and apple cider vinegar when I got well, and coconut oil. So there was no overheads of, I'm about to get my hair done today. Now that I'm well, I can pay for that and do that. But if you want to get your health right, and I was on disabilities, it was rent and food and internet. That's it. I'm from, I think it's in Australia. Thank you, egoist. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. I lost 32 pounds by exercising daily, eating better, taking added sugar out of my diet. My goal was 130 and I was 162. I'm getting so close to my goal. When I was a teen, I was congratulations. I think it's her Proverbs. You're amazing. Look what you can do. I'm so proud of you. That really is amazing. Like, you should be so proud of yourself because you showed up for you every day. It's you against the world. That's what I think everyone has to remember is like, it's, you know, we may see those before and after photos, but I know how tough it is to show up for yourself every day and relearn and believe in yourself. And yes, do you take any supplements? Can you recommend some hidden gems? That's the thing. The hidden gem is what I'm giving you. And I've spent my whole life fighting that. I spent my whole life reading, doing degrees, trying to do a degree, top doctors, 60 surgeries. The actual only gem is you need to eat, get sunshine, exercise, good sleep, and low stress. And I can't even access most of that without the good food part. And you keep getting rid of and increasing the raw aspect until you find the level you need to sit at. So you can't complain that I can't do healthy food. You need to go higher. So, and plus, I think you need to realize that, like, we are pretty attracted to the bright, vibrant fruit and vegetables, right? It doesn't mean everyone has to be all raw, but if you start heading that way and getting rid of things that do not serve you, you will start to see that your whole dream life was always waiting for you, because you find out who you are on a raw food diet. You find out spiritually, emotionally, you're so connected, you're so clear in the head. You're not in hospital, you're not paying for all doctors. But the hidden gem is not like, I use nothing for almost 3 years except raw, fresh food. And then at the end of that 3 years, I started to add nuts and seeds back in. And then now I have my hormone replacement back in, and I have magnesium. And I did take B12 shots. I didn't think I did the first year, but every other year I've taken a B12 shot, but they're not the answer. That's just an extra. Trust me, the magnesium I take at night ain't going to do crap if I eat badly. You have to hydrate, coconut water. Your whole life has to become about self-love. I don't have EDS. I have worked with people who have had extreme EDS, as in their brain is kind of like, I'm pretty sure you're saying Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and their skull has literally come across. I do have field connective tissue issues, and I get, because it's like my whole body, your whole body just kind of goes out. So I probably do at some level, never been diagnosed. Omega-3s, raw food. I swear, if you have like those autoimmune, make sure you follow Dr. Brooke Goldner. She has a great protocol. Mine's slightly different. I'm on my own journey. I'm like, and I want people to undertake that. I want people to see people, be inspired, and start heading in the right direction. So I failed on every category you just named. I really want to change because I lately really feel insecure about myself as a man. Okay, so this is why I believe people fail. And I knew my weaknesses when this I saw was going to save my life. And that is, own where you're at. Okay, don't think that you're going to just go on juice, or tomorrow you're eating a standard American diet and now you're going to do raw food. You're just getting a dopamine hit at the idea of what you're going to get, which is a skinny body or whatever, or your health issue goes. You have to accept that if you're on a standard American diet, there are levels to getting to where you want to get. So if you're on a standard American diet, my first suggestion, I'm a vegan, is just get rid of all the processed food. And that's a huge step. Don't think too much about the outcome. If you start heading towards and doing good things, your body gives you the outcome. Outcomes you never knew possible. But you have to look after yourself. We were put on this earth to love ourselves, and you don't have to start as a raw foodist. Start making better choices. Like on the Saturday night, if you worked hard, we think sitting having beer and pizza is a good idea, right? What if you swapped that out and got a plant-based pizza, and for now maybe it's even a soft drink or a mineral water? You stop. I'm not saying you have to be a saint, but you've got to head in the right direction, because even that's going to be hard. I've spoken to people on here that have said, who can't imagine doing this. And a lot of the reason is a lot of them go home from work from drive-through, and a lot of people are like, oh, they're just lazy. I'm like, no, these people probably have kids and family, or worked extreme long hours, and they're unwell, and to get through a day, their brain is used to going through drive-through. So I've said to them, my suggestion is just say, I watch people on TikTok every day do things to better themselves. So when they go through drive-through, maybe they usually get 2 hamburgers, chips, and a Pepsi. Maybe next time you go through, you get a hamburger, a salad, maybe you skip the chips, maybe you get a small chips and you get a water. For a lot of people, that's a massive step. But it's not so huge that it feels so daunting that you feel like you're missing part of yourself that you go all the way back. My suggestion is really, if you own where you are, and that is going to be hard work for that person, right? So if you are someone who loves pizzas, you are going to have to find out how you make pizzas in a more healthier way. You know, even if it's just that the base has no preservatives and it's just tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes on like a natural sauce instead of getting a really processed one. But you have to start. And it is what in fact, I think a lot of the pills or quick fixes actually make us sicker and we're just not aware of it, and then we go back and we poison ourselves again. You have to do the work. There's no way about it, and it becomes so much of a joy if you honor where you're at. He forgives while we were saying what? Hello for the UK. Thank you. My name is Gina. I'm happy. I feel better. I sleep better. My husband bought a huge pool and I used it. Congratulations, Gina. That's amazing. These are the things which I can't package up and sell you. The reason Gina's so happy that she's in the pool and she's sleeping better and she feels better is because she's had to show up for herself every day on this journey, on her healing journey to reach her goal. And no one knows more about how that feels than her. And so when someone's like, oh, I got to the pool, for one person, they could have been to the pool 50 times in their life. But to someone like Gina, who maybe didn't go before or didn't feel good there, it's like this prize in itself. I promise if you work on yourself, you reap the rewards you didn't know that could feel so good. So yes, Ella's downloads. I do take omega-3. You are inspirational. Thank you. You got this. I do a raw food diet, and there's a pack there, a mast cell activation pack in the description. If you write your name, it'll get emailed to you, and it has what I eat. And I'm just about to change that. So the link to that, if you guys have it, that folder will be updated as I go along my journey. And there's also a group if you want to join that as well. I was insecure about how careless and easily residing I was forward sin, and I made bad choices, and Jesus made me strong forevermore. I'm so glad you found yourself. It's my fault that I don't know. You really opened my eyes. I will try your method. I think you really helped me finding the key to getting back into shape. You are such a beautiful human being. I'm subscribed to you now. Thank you. I am so glad. I think that's what you have to know is it doesn't have to be as... We've taken in a lot of remedies in our lifetime to try and get where we want to go, and they're all a punishment. And when you find the joy in the healing journey, and as I said, I'm not expecting somebody, you need to go raw. I didn't just, I feel like it was an evolution through paleo, through veganism, and I didn't know I was heading there. But the more you look after yourself, you're like, oh, I noticed that plants do, for me, make me feel even better. But my veganism was actually because of animals. But I feel that came out of looking after myself. Like if we can understand that if you just start making those small choices, they give you strength to make the next choice. Because it's just too much, like to think, like even in the raw food lifestyle, I'm a raw foodist, moving across to a high omega-3 diet was a lot. And I go back and I go forward and I share about it, but it's all about making those steps forward. So I've actually got to go. I've got a client, but it was lovely talking to you. If it's okay, I would like to keep you up to date about my journey from now on if you don't have a problem with it. Of course, that's what we're here for. I'm online lots. If not, go follow me over on Instagram at roarskye. But that's what I'm here for. It was hard at first. This is Gina, everybody. It was hard at first. It was the point where I didn't want to make my bed. I was so lazy and didn't love myself. Now I cannot go one day without a walk and a swim and make my bed daily. And if you guys, you're amazing. So everyone should start with making their bed, because there was that lieutenant or that captain or whatever who said when he gets up every day, the first thing he does is make his bed, because every day he's completed at least one task, even if you end up going back to bed because you're so unwell. But it's those steps we take in the right direction. Thanks, Creative Heart, for all your amazing work. Thank you, Sky. You don't know how much you've helped me. God bless. I'm so glad. Be proud of yourself. You can do this. Love you guys, and I'll see you soon.